iPad.
Yes, Daddy's iPad.
What's that?
Good morning, ladies. I know it's extremely early this morning for most of us. I decided to come in here and do a video, and naturally, as I was setting up, here came one. So, again, I'm a mom, so we're just gonna deal with that. So yesterday, I was listening to some preachers while I was, I like to put on YouTube and just kind of listen to what's out there. And I was going through stuff in the house, and this, I think it was Kevin Wallace, or I hope I said his name right. He was done a message, and he spoke about, well, he pulled up blind Bartimaeus for a part of his message. And I know you guys are probably like, my gosh, this girl's talking about him again. I cannot help it. I love blind Bartimaeus. He speaks to me so much. And there's so much richness if you really look into his story. And so last night, it was really on me, and I wanted to do a video last night, but I'm like, no. I was trying to get stuff done. Well, this morning it just hit me again. We just kind of rolled up. Well, we've been up since 7, but kind of getting around, having our hot tea. And the Lord just said, get on and talk about throwing it off. So I am completely obedient simply to the Spirit of the Lord. And so anyway, blind Bartimaeus can be found in Mark 10. Chapters 46 on to 52. I want to read it, and then I want to talk about it for a second. Now they came to Jericho. Now, mind you, Jesus didn't have to go to Jericho. There was other routes he could have took to get to where he was going, but he went through Jericho. As he went out through Jericho, his disciples and a great multitude, blind Bartimaeus, the son of... Here, go on. Timaeus, sat by the road begging. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Then many warned him to be quiet, but he cried out all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me. So Jesus stood still and commanded him to be called. And then they called the blind man, saying to him, be of good cheer, rise, he is calling you. And throwing aside his garment, verse 50 is where my whole thing is centered on. Throwing aside his garment, he rose and came to Jesus. So Jesus answered and said to him, what do you want me to do for you? The blind man said to him, Rabbi, that I may receive my sight. Then Jesus said to him, go your way, your faith has made you well. And immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus on the road. Throw it off. You have to throw it off this morning. Ladies, but as you start your day today, or maybe you watch this in the afternoon, or maybe you're going to watch this tonight, there are some things that's been hindering you, that's been holding you back, and you've got to throw it off. I love what it says with blind Bartimaeus. He didn't bring the beggar's cloak with him. He didn't sit there bound by the heavy weight of it. He didn't say, someone come and get me. When he heard the call of the master, he threw off that dirty old ragged cloak. He threw off that very weight, the very hindrance from him, and he ran to the Father calling. And we know no man comes to God unless he's called unless he's basically drawn by the Spirit. Blind Bartimaeus may have been spiritually blind, but he had ears that was open. And he began to hear the whispers of the town. He began to hear the talk of the miracles and the signs and the wonders of this man named Jesus. And it says that faith comes by hearing. And as he began to hear all this talk, faith within him began to rise. And he didn't know what to do with that faith for a time and a season. But as he heard the master about to come by, he began to cry out to get the Father's attention. He began to cry out to say, I'm here in my desperation. I can't go nowhere. I don't know what to do. There's no help for me. There's no doctor help. There's nothing I can buy. There's nothing I can do. I can only be healed by your hand. So we've been to cry out in the midst of religion. Because there's what that would be when people say, shut up, shut up. Don't say nothing. Don't praise that way. Don't ask for prayer. You need to hush. Your embarrassment should steal your voice. Your shame should make you be quiet. But even in spite of all that, even in spite of the religion surrounding him, even the talk and what the enemy would try to discourage and frustrate, he cried out all the more. He didn't get him discouraged when people began to tell him you're worthless. He's not worth your time. He didn't begin to say, well, that didn't work. I guess I'll have to wait for another time, another season, another person, another thing. He knew by the hearing of his ear and all the faith that began to rise up in him that this was his moment. This was the man who could do what he needed to do. And when his cry stopped the master, it stopped Jesus in his track. Because we can stop Jesus and get his attention. We can literally pause when the Spirit's moving. We can literally pause the Spirit's move, and it can direct his attention to us. But I love number 50. And throwing aside his garment, he rose and came to Jesus. There are some things that we got to throw off this morning. If you woke up heavy in your spirit, you got to throw off heaviness. You can't wear that today. If you woke up maybe disappointed and let down, you've got to throw it off, because today's a new day and it's a new opportunity to get the master's attention. There's some things that you can't let go with you. You can't wear in the presence of God. There's some things that you can't bring in the presence of God, and you've got to be willing to throw it off, because whatever it takes, when you need that healing, you need that deliverance, you need that breakthrough, whatever it takes. Just like I talked about my friend in a couple videos ago, how she humbled herself and apologized to someone she didn't even think that she had anything against, but that person had something against her. But she needed to make sure nothing stopped or hindered her from reaching God. And that's exactly what we need to do. Why did that door just beep? Amelia. Sorry. Hey, did the front door just beep? Go make sure David or Amelia didn't walk out. Hurry up. Sorry. Okay, I heard the big door beep. Make sure your brother David didn't go out. Okay, sorry. So you've got to throw it off. That reminds me of Paul. Paul was on a mission. He knew, his mind was set what his mission was, and he was shipwrecked, and he was shipwrecked to this island. Tell him, get his butt inside right now. I knew I heard one of them go out. Okay, but he got to the land, so they were saved. And then the viper come out of the fire, and what did he do? It struck him, and he shook it off, because he knew no attack from the enemy, no counterattack from the enemy, no fiery darts could hinder him, because he had a mission. He had something to do. He had somewhere to go. He knew the purpose and will of God in his life. Blind Bartimaeus knew that Jesus was his answer. And the moment, okay, tell him get him. The moment he got the master's attention, he threw it off. You've got to throw off the attacks today. You've got to shake off the discouragement today. You've got to shake off those heavy weights today. And you've got to rise and run up when you hear the master's call. I just hope that ministers someone today. I tried to just make this something quick, just to minister to someone and just speak to them however you woke up today. It's your choice to shake it off. You don't have to live that way. You don't have to let it weigh you down. You don't have to let it take you out. Choose to be the victorious riser today. You are more than a conqueror through Christ. Shake off the heavy things. Shake off the weights. Shake off the burdens. Shake off the attack. Shake off the enemy's presence, even if it's lingering in your life. Shake it off. Shake it off. Throw it in the fire. It doesn't have to be yours. So anyway, ladies, I hope you're blessed. And I just encourage you, don't let it weigh you down today. Because change is coming to you. And when you get into the Father's presence, you can't carry some things with you.